Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I'm a homeschooling mom of 2 boys. They are turning 9 and 12 this fall and going into 3rd and 6th grade. We are using Ambleside Online, which is a Charlotte Mason curriculum. My younger one is going into year 4 and my older one is in the middle of year 5. And AO recommend starting Plutarch's lives after year 4. So I'm looking into this. You can go by subject, Plutarch, and it has a rotation, 3 lives per school year. But if you are just beginning like us, they recommend starting with Publicola. And for each life, there's Anne White's study guide with text that's for free on the website. So that's Publicola. And AO's website is printer friendly. I function better when seeing words on paper, so I printed the first pages. I printed 2 lessons, like they divide one life into 1 term, that's 12 weeks, so that's 2 weeks. You see for Publicola, there's some introductory notes, the main people mentioned, explanation on Roman Republic, people terms, vocabulary. That's vocab for the whole life of Publicola. And for each lesson, there's vocab too. Lesson 1, introduction, that's for the teacher. I just read this. It's totally new to me, so it gave me a lot of wonderful information. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. I don't have much knowledge about Roman Republic, Publicola. I didn't know about him. So that's good, an intro for me. Vocabulary for lesson 1, because some things it's still the same meaning, but like grateful in the text, it's not the same meaning as we are used to know it. So vocab, people on the map where you can find, and that is the reading. So that's the actual text, and they divide, like Anne White divides it. So let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs. That's lesson 1. But she divides, like if you are new, you can stop here for narration. Because I just tried, I really, like if I read the whole 2 pages, I couldn't. I need to stop more often for narration. You can stop here for narration. That's vocab in bold. And after that's, so that's 1 week's lesson 1. And after, it has some ideas for like narration and discussion after lesson 1. Creative narration, it could be dramatized in some form, or like news interviews, word studies, or some extra information. Lesson 2 again, introduction, vocab, and reading divided, so you can stop and narrate. So if you feel confident reading it by yourself, usually for Shakespeare and Plutarch, they suggest combining students of year 4 and above, and do like a family subject, and the mom would read. For Shakespeare, you can like take turns, like have a role play. So for Plutarch's Lives, if you think you can read it with this study guide, it will work wonderfully. I looked with the names, but also like sometimes one, no, that's not text. Sometimes one paragraph is like one sentence and I get lost in half the sentence. It's because English is not my first language, it's extra hard for me, and I'm new to Plutarch too. Maybe after a few lives I will feel more comfortable. So I was looking for an audiobook that could read it for me, but then I wanted to use the study guide to like stop after like a short paragraph. So I wanted to find something that an audio that's similar to this text, because there are different translations. So I saw this, that's the Parallel Lives by Plutarch. Let's see the title detail. Oh, I don't have internet here. I think this, that's on Audible. You can see, you can search just this. I think in all it's the whole, or most of the lives. So it's like 70 hours. And you can see, so it's like 70 hours in all. I just come to Publicola. Some people just use Publicola too. And it's 53 minutes. And I tried listening to it and looking at the text, and it correlates pretty well. There's some difference in translation, but I can still tell when it's a new sentence beginning and when it's here, like I should stop for narration. So it correlates pretty well. That's a relief for me. So we are going to just
the man amongst the early citizens reputed the principal reconciler of the differences betwixt the Romans and Sabines, and one that was most instrumental in persuading their kings to assent to peace and union.
So I plan to, I'll look at this so I can explain like a vocab, have the notes, etc. They'll listen to this, and I'll stop. I'll know where to stop because it correlates well. It follows this text approximately. And I'll stop for narration. So we'll see how it goes. That's our first live. And I tried listening to the first two lessons. I can get a vague storyline, but there are times, maybe a short paragraph, and I couldn't narrate much. Maybe I just got lost a little in that one, but in the whole, I think I understood some things. But maybe, just maybe, my kids will understand more than me, who knows. Like we just did Shakespeare, The Tempest, together with my older one did at the full plays before, but for my younger one, that's his first Shakespeare play. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link above and below in the video description. So that went better, like exceeded my expectations, because I was looking at we were listening to Archangel Shakespeare plays, and I was looking at the play on paper, and my younger one didn't like to follow along in the text. And I was thinking, that's poetic form, and how can you understand if you are not looking and listening at the same time? But he did understand, which I wouldn't be able to, maybe. So who knows, maybe they'll give better narrations than I am capable of. So let's see how it goes. So we just look at the context and the vocabulary. We're starting the audiobook. I'll include the first paragraph after. I'll maybe just record our narrations. Otherwise, this video will be too long. 从这边开始哈。
Such was Solon. To him we compare Publicola, who received this later title from the Roman people for his merit as a noble accession to his former name, Publius Valerius. He descended from Valerius, a man amongst the early citizens reputed the principal reconciler of the differences betwixt the Romans and Sabines, and one that was most instrumental in persuading their kings to assent to peace and union. Thus descended, Publius Valerius, as it is said, whilst Rome remained under its kingly government, obtained as great a name from his eloquence as from his riches, charitably employing the one in liberal aid to the poor, the other with integrity and freedom in the service of justice, thereby giving assurance that should the government fall into a republic, he would become a chief man in the community.
Okay, it says if we never read Plutarch before, we can stop for narration. The language is difficult at the beginning, okay? Anyone can say anything? Like, we learned anything about Publicola now?
His old name was Publius
Valerius, and?
his father did something about the Romans and Sabines or something like that.
Yeah, they had a war, right?
Yeah,
we saw in the
I
context.
think he stopped the war or something.
Yeah,
Did he?
did something, I'm not sure. But he
did
played a role in
Yeah, he played a role in the war. I think that's it.
Okay,
all I know.
Elijah, anything to add? No, okay. We'll continue. So that's introducing Publicola, huh?
The illegal and wicked.
So we finished the second paragraph. What is it talking about, Elijah?
It's kind of about King Taurus.
Talkies.
Yeah, but Tarkin, not sure.
Talkis.
Yeah.
And how he was not that good of a king. And lots of rebellions started. And Lucius Brutus or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. He led a rebellion army and defeated King Tarquis and made the Roman Republic, I think.
Yeah. It hasn't mentioned Roman Republic. That's from the context. Yeah, that should be where the events are going. So the king was deposed, and then
there's supposed to be two counselors, and I think Valerius wanted to be one of them. Brutus was the other, but Valerius didn't get to be one of the counselors, and another person's coming.
Yeah. Says he was disappointed, right? Let's see why. So they chose Tarquinius Clotinus instead. Why?
Because the noblemen didn't want any more monarchies. So they got a person that would hate monarchs because the king killed Tarquinius's wife, and he was really mad at all kings, and so they wanted to keep it like a republic, and so they got somebody who hated kings to be in part of the counselors, so that no more kings would come back.
Yeah, consuls. So what did Valerius do?
Valerius stopped doing anything in the public. He quit from the Senate and stopped doing anything that's, related to, the court, and stopped the court life and went out of, the public. And all of the people started worrying that he might join the king's side and revolt against the republic.
So we have one last paragraph for today. Okay, so what happened?
What happened was that when when Brutus called Publicola to court to take the oath of the Senate, he came really cheerfully, did the oath, and said that he would be really nice to the people and something like that. And he obeyed his oath, and everybody was really relieved that he wasn't gonna rebel against the republic.
Okay, let's try to remember what we read yesterday. There was Valerius with Publicola, King Tarquin, Brutus, a woman who's dead, and her husband.
And everybody loved Publicola. And
See, this is all that happened. King Tarquin wasn't that good of a king, and he killed somebody's innocent wife, and everybody got really, angry, and rebellion started out, and Lucius Brutus, conquered King Tarquin, and they made a republic, where there was 2 councils, and Publicola was gonna be one of those 2 councils, but instead the person who had his wife killed turned into one of those councils because they wanted somebody who hated the kings. And Lucius Brutus was the other council. And and then everybody thought that Publicola would be angry with the councils and start rebelling against the republic, but he still remained loyal and faithful.
Okay, so let's look at today's vocab. Sweet and lowly speeches, Dryden translates as popular and specious speeches. So specious is like far-fetched, untrue. So like sweet but untrue speeches, we'll see. To dulce and soften the hardened hearts of the multitude. Dulce, does it look similar?
Dulce.
That is
Candy.
in Spanish, right? So los dulces, I think that comes from Latin too. So it's like soften, sweeten, seduce the people.
Sugary.
Like using sweet speeches to seduce the people. Not but, nothing but. Peril, do you know peril?
Yeah, it's like great danger,
Yeah.
endangered or something like that.
Here it's maybe a verb, in danger. Occasion of new stir, so there's occasion, like for new stir, like an upheaval, like another rebellion, maybe.
Breaking news.
Like stir is like like protest, something. Wherewithal to keep them, so like what to keep them alive, like things, food to live on. That's maybe related to this, so much as subsistence in exile. So Brutus was not in favor, so was against providing even a living allowance to those who had been exiled. So he doesn't want to give anything to the exiled. So we'll see. And Brutus was a fast and resolute man. Another translation, a man of unbending nature. So people can change his opinion. So we'll see. A private man is a private citizen. So it's a Roman citizen, but not holding public office, like not a consul or senator or something. eminent is still respected, well known. Seduced is like before, like seduced, enticed, and maybe they use sweet speeches to seduce the people. It's like you use apple to seduce a rabbit to come to you and kill it. Emancipation is freedom. Imbecile, do you know the word?
Crazy.
So like a mental problem is like not smart or crazy. Here it says Brutus had feigned himself mad, so he pretended to be mad. Does that remind you of anyone?
David.
So David went to the Philippines.
And
Philistines.
the Philistines.
Uh-huh.
And the Philistines were, hey, wasn't that David? The person who killed more people than Saul? Saul killed thousands of thousands. David killed millions of millions. We gotta kill that guy. And David's like,
Yeah,
I'm not David.
so we just read about that. David pretended to be mad too for protection, right? So Brutus maybe did the same thing, similar thing. A murdered man. Okay, so let's start today's reading. So that was a longer paragraph. The consuls allowed the ambassadors to speak. Valerius opposed it. And what was the king looking for? And it mentions Brutus, right? Anyone?
I think it mentioned Brutus running out to the crowd and saying that his fellow counsel was a traitor.
And here's the vocab we looked. So
Exile.
he doesn't want to give anything to those on king's side, right? On exile. So another man, a private man, so like just a citizen, also spoke. Do you see like what's the issue they're focusing on?
The king wants all of the land that they used to have back. Like they used to have like some homes and lands, and they want it back so they could have somewhere to live. And some people thought they should give some of the lands that the king used to have back to him, but some of the councils thought that that would be bad because then the king could use the land against them.
So this man can use some. This man also thinks they shouldn't give it back, right? Okay, so his property isn't the main goal. So what are the ambassadors doing?
They're trying to get some people onto the king's side and to favor the king so that the king can have more power.
Yeah. So they got the Aquilian family and the Vitellian family who have like senators, right? Then they have influence. Okay. So they corrupted or like bought to their side two families. It's talking about these people and sons of Brutus. Elijah, did you?
The sons of Brutus went to King Tarquin's side. And
Chris?
And now, Brutus is still against the king, but his sons are on King Tarquin's side and have joined in a plot, I think.
Yeah, yes. Okay, last paragraph for today. Let's see. Okay, Elijah, can you start?
So these people were drinking his blood from murdered men. And there was like a house built for the Quillians and those kind of stuff.
And there is a slave And did you hear? No? Okay. Chris?
Well, Brutus's sons went to this hidden area, and they swore on an oath to kill both of the councils. And there's this person hidden behind a chest who overheard the entire talk.
So today's reading ended here. I think next time he's going to tell. Well, no spoilers, but yeah. Okay, so we know someone, a slave, overheard. Okay, let's look at the discussion here. So Valerius, so Publicola was not one of the consuls, yet the Romans listened to his opinion. And he said, Valerius opposed, was against allowing the ambassadors to speak to the people, right? Because, I quote, the people or the poorer people were more afraid of wars than of tyranny. So that means they are afraid of wars, so they just want peace. So they may just say, okay, let the king back, right? So why do you think he thinks that? Why the poorer people were more afraid of wars than of tyranny?
Because wars mean death and sacrifices, while tyranny means they just have to pay a bit more extra taxes.
Yeah, so at that time they eat what they sow and they don't have extra food, and if there's a war, they can't survive, right? Like the poorer people. So the ambassadors are there and they talk, use sweet languages, right? Try to seduce people, and here, it says, we can discuss. Why do you think they would have been especially delighted with these particular young men? Well, they are Brutus' sons.
Because then when the father is sleeping, they just kill him. Easy,
Okay.
easy, lemon squeezy.
It says to read Proverbs. Let's see why. Okay, we have found it says to read Proverbs 1:10 to 33. Yeah, that's very related. Chris, can you start reading for us? 10 here.
All right. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. My son, if sinful men entice you, do not give in to them.
Yeah, it's like seduce you, right? It's like here the ambassadors seduce the young man and keep going.
If they say, come along with us, let's lie in wait for innocent blood, let's ambush some harmless soul.
Okay, that was long, so I stopped filming. We read till verse 33. So that's very related to this passage, right? Like how we can avoid being seduced, making a similar mistake. Okay, this video is already 30 minutes long, so I won't probably include all 12 lessons, but every lesson is in a similar manner. So we do a recap and vocabulary and listen to or read, if you read it yourself, the text, do narrations, and the study guide has discussion questions after each lesson too. So again, the study guide is free on Ambleside Online website. You go to by subject, Plutarch, and if you are just starting, so that's other lives. You can always choose study guide with text, but if you're just starting, Publicola is at the end, and you can just jump to the lessons. And at the end, I think after lesson 12, there are some, so that's further thoughts and discussion, creative narration for lesson 12. That's similar to previous lessons, but at the end there are some exam questions too for the whole Publicola, the whole life you are reading. You may write your own for younger students, for older students. So we love this study guide. So AO has a rotation, 3 Plutarch lives per year, 1 per term. I'm still thinking maybe I'll do a few lives first and then start following the rotation, because I want to do like Julius Caesar and a few others I saw recommended that Shakespeare kind of sides, and then we can read the related Shakespeare plays. So that would be fun to read lives and the related Shakespeare plays. So we'll see. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a blessed day.